Hello, I am Bentham and welcome back to Cosmoteer. In the previous episode we were working our way through the epic difficulty sectors and we did a very decent job. We pretty much had no trouble at all with the ships apart from one time where the crossbow decided to fly at one of them sideways and thus got sort of half exploded, but we fixed it and it's fine now. I've upgraded the spear and so hopefully now the enemy will be targeting that a lot more than anything else, and it should be nigh on impossible to actually cause any serious damage to it. I mean, there are a couple of sort of weak points, but everyone's going to be trying to shoot it from the front, where there are 3 layers of shielding that will be very difficult to get through without... Like, as soon as you get to the back ones, the front ones will reactivate it again. That's the idea of it, so it should be hopefully impossible for them to actually get to the main beam things, which is good. And we've also actually added a couple of extra guns to the thing now, so that it can do other little bits of damage as well. There's practically no reason to have it. I just feel like it should have a couple of little bits of side weaponry to help with things. I mean, maybe I could give it something that complements these better. I don't know if, like, the ion beams are good at shielding, so maybe I should have some electro bolt guns. I don't know how that works, exactly what the strengths and weaknesses of it are. I just know it slices ships in half if you give it enough time to do that. Anyway, let me try this. If I select everyone and say break formation and then enter formation, there we go. So yes, the spear now takes precedence. It is now the larger ship, and so the other ones are flanking instead, which in a certain way is more awkward because it means that we can't have the crossbow further back than everyone else. We end up, I guess we'll just pick them being like lined up straight, and then the spear will arrive a little bit sooner, but the mace won't be too far behind. That sort of idea. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. But what we should do is find another epic sector to jump to, and there aren't many around right now. This entire system we have here has nothing left really apart from these 2 novice sectors over here, or amateur sectors, a couple more over there, and then everything else is Vanguard that I do not consider as ready for quite yet. So let's jump somewhere else. There's another system over here with plenty of stars in it. So, well, no, there's only 1 star, but there's plenty of things that aren't stars in it, which are, if anything, more important than stars because they're more likely to have people orbiting them. Yeah, I'm seeing plenty of epic locations around, so let's just jump for the nearest one. Gonna be... actually, it's not really that expensive at all. It's 1/10 of the FTL fuel we own. That's fine. Let's see who wins the FTL race this time. I'm guessing that it's gonna be the spear once again. Actually, no, the spear has 4 different FTL drives now, so a little bit harder to do so perhaps. Yep, the mace did beat him, and I'm sure the spear won't be too far behind. Definitely struggling with that last 5%, even giving the crossbow time to nearly catch up, but not quite, because the crossbow is terrible at charging its FTL drives. Off we go, and here we are. We have 1 fleet and 2 large ships. Let's go for the fleet first. Nice and easy to start. Let's get everyone in formation though, just to be safe. Don't want one guy like the crossbow running in on his own and getting slaughtered or whatever. That would not be fun. Everyone get in position and off you go. Just watch you all as you basically don't move, as you slowly drift towards the enemy. It's agonizing. We're at 4 times speed and it still takes forever. What do we have? We have the Jetsam, that's what we've targeted. We have this monstrosity. What is this? The Calamity. It's so weird and cool. I like it. And a hook, as we've seen before. So overall, pretty terrible showing. The overall value of all this is like not even 70,000, which is 1/10 of the spear. Of course, these things will cost more than the amount that we get from killing them, I'm pretty sure, but that's still pretty crap. But this thing is insane. It's just weapons. It's just endless weapons built on top of reactors. I was talking about the other thing being compressed and efficient, but look at this. It's got 3 ion beams just sticking out random directions. 6 electro bolts and 6 normal guns. There's barely any engines. There's only 2 forward and 2 back engines, and this 1 big engine at the back here. Crew quarters are crammed into the back section. This is a ridiculously dense ball of shooting everyone to pieces. Let's just target that and see how it goes. That is crazy. I'm glad we didn't see that when we were in like the professional sectors or whatever that turns up in, because that would have been painful. I mean, geez. Here we go. Missiles taking out everything. Jetsam survived. We're not really caring about it. Oh, the hooks survived as well, just about. But it's been caught by the fire from everything else. The jetsam's still there. Somebody go deal with that. Oh, poor thing. Nothing left but the reactor. Did anyone take damage? We got a little bit. It seemed like the crossbow suffered a teensy bit. Yeah, tiny bit of damage here just because a shot managed to sneak by the shields, it looks like. A little bit of a thing glanced off the wing there, but over here, did we lose that? Let me look at this. Yeah, we lost the shield generator. He did go for the crossbows, so that makes sense that he managed to do that. But we do need to do something about the crossbow, methinks. That is the plan, though, for today. As I've been saying, I've been cycling between each of the 3 ships each episode and doing a major overhaul, and it is the crossbow's turn, and I have a plan. Basically just what everyone's told me to do, because it does make sense, and I should have done it sooner. But we'll get to that later. Off we go. We've got a large ship to deal with. Let's see what this is. Oh, we're apparently... I've selected all these 3, but also some random bit of debris over here, so the average point is not quite right. But here we have the Arachnid. I don't think we've seen this one before. Lots of electrobolts to it. An interesting design. I see why they went for the sort of spider name with the look of it. Fancy thing with the engines here. I like the look of that. Can they fit in that space? That doesn't seem right. Oh, no, it is. It is just wide enough to fit these 4 engines in. That's quite clever. And lots of forward thrust, but not much else, really. Yeah, it's electrobolts and cannons, which is a good mix. The electrobolts knock out the shields. The cannons do the damage to the hull. Makes sense as a way to do things, but let's fly in and see how we deal with him. Let's hope that the crossbow doesn't get too close. It's been mentioned that... oh, he is going straight for the crossbow. Damn it! Yeah, that could be a little bit painful. But it has been mentioned that apparently, unless I have more reverse thrusters, or at least equal reverse thrusters to my forward thrusters, the ships will always overshoot their target because of how they calculate that sort of thing. Let's slow down and get a proper look at this. Missiles flying in. That's going to be a very nice first strike, but he's going to get a nice first strike on us, though... Perhaps the crossbows managed to dodge these shots. Not all of them, but some of them. He's slowed down enough that a lot of them are just going straight past those. Some of them are hitting on the side in very bad places to be hitting. Not so great. But we've got the front facing now. It should hopefully field the cannon shots long enough for us to kill the thing. And it's looking pretty good. The spear is in its element. He's working his way towards that central reactor. And the mace is just throwing everything it has in its standard mace fashion. We've lost the shields on the front of the crossbow and it is taking hits. That's not so great. Yep. Oh, that's not good. Missed the missile factory, and I think we'll take this thing out before it can do too much damage. But yeah, the crossbow is not... It's not doing well enough right now. It needs to be doing a better job of staying out of enemy fire and... actually surviving the attacks of the enemy. But the thing's coming apart now. We've reached that point where it's just explosions all over the place. And just a case of waiting till we manage to actually break through enough hull to get to the core reactor, which is the only one left. The spear is sort of missing at the moment. Aim for this bit. Oh, it's aiming for the center of mass, which is shifted over there because we've blown this half of it up. Yeah, lots of armor around that core. There's not much point there, because by the time we've got to this core, we will have blown everything else up, so it's not like the core will be of any use anymore. There we go, that's that dealt with. Back to normal speed. Ooh. Looks like people didn't put the fire out in time? What blew up? I'm not sure. It must have been this. Can these blow up as well? Because I assumed that, like, the factories and the reactors were the only things that could actually properly detonate when they lost health. But perhaps I am mistaken. Oh, the storage might be something that's gone. Oh, that... Oh, this is awkward. Yeah, that's going up. No one could put those fires out in time for this tiny health bar to be okay. But wait, we can repair it, so I'm just going to repair it instantly, and it's like, no, everything's fine. Nothing ever happened. What fire? There was no fire. Everything's good. No major explosions. But seriously, that would have been bad. That would have blown that up. Then that maybe managed to reach here and here, but I think they're far away enough. Yeah, that would have been pretty terrible. I'm glad I spotted that in time. Yeah, the crossbow, it's not as good as it used to be, and it's not quite up to standard for epic sectors. I'm going to try moving it back, but that's going to move the mace back as well, unless I manually move it forward and we get this weird system going. Whoops, oh, I've done that wrong. Well, that's still correct, actually. Just go kill him. Go over there, do that thing. You'll work it out. Might take you a while, but you'll get there. And select, and we've selected some debris. Oh, there's too much debris. I can't select the 3 ships without selecting some random bit that I don't want. Oh, hello. Oh, this is a fancy looking thing. Goliath. That's a lot of cannons. That's many cannons. That's only 3 reactors. Which is a bit crazy. One of them's in the middle where it can't really reach anything. There are some missile factories, but where are the launchers? They're up here. There's a bit of a distance. I guess they go from there to the storage to the launchers, and there's a decent bit of storage. Not really. Ammo factories there. So yeah, this is a weird one. Very interesting design they've gone for here. Were they trying to make a person? Is this like big arms and a body and legs? Doesn't really work. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. No, just kill him. Just attack him in the standard fashion. Yeah, I'm a bit worried about these cannons. This could be a bit of a fire starter style thing going on here. Just annihilating one of the ships before running out of steam and then allowing us to annihilate it. So we'll kill it, but not without cost. That's my thinking. Yeah, the back is so... Oh, here we go with the missiles launcher. But yeah, the back is so vulnerable, but I'm never going to be able to maneuver around that. I mean, I do have 3 ships, so I could just position them so that works. But yeah, the fight has begun. Let's go slow-mo for this. We need to be paying attention. It's trading fire with the mace. Unfortunately, the mace is not facing it, and it's already taken some pretty hefty damage on the side there. What has it lost? It's lost one of the reverse thrusters, which is now going to make it struggle to turn, but it's going to be alright. It's firing its cannons at the crossbow. Don't you go doing that. Right, crossbow, I've got a plan. I want you to start moving around him. Also, make sure you stay at range, because I'm just thinking, now I've given you... Oh, no, it's not the crossbow, is it? It's the spear I've given you, close range weapons, so he might be trying to get closer than he should, so we can use those. It's a lot of cannon fire. It's cannon fire coming at everyone, though. Even if we flank him on 3 sides, he's going to still have cannons for all of us. The mace is doing a decent job of fielding the shots. The spear is going to break that arm off, I hope, but it's got some reinforcement on the side. It's obviously had that problem before and gone, oh, just stick a couple of bits of metal there and then it'll work fine. Crossbow, keep working on reversing, get away. I think he's been trying to fly too close recently. I think that's part of the problem. Oh, there we go. This thing's just coming to pieces. We've been hitting all the important bits. Where is it spinning to? What is it trying to achieve? I'm not quite sure. Possibly turning these to there, which should be bad. Yeah, everyone's getting plenty of distance on him now. He seems to be sort of floundering in the middle of us, and we're able to get exactly where we want to be. Spear, where you going? He appears to be trying to re-engage formation. I don't want that. Come back, Spear. How do I... Just... There we go. Reset him like that. Stop trying to do things with respect to the crossbow. I don't know what that was even about. Fly forward, please. Don't hide behind the vulnerable ship. That is very dumb. Mace, what are you... You're also being weird. Just attack him. Just fly at him and blow him up in the standard fashion. We know this. Right, I think we're safe to go at normal speed. It seems like we've got this guy covered. We got out of that fairly well, actually. I was a bit worried that the first strike would be too destructive, but he split between our 3 ships, and that meant that no one ship suffered too much. Yes, Spear, I don't know why you're still hanging back there. I've now told you to attack. What have you... Oh, I was going to check what distance he was set to, but I didn't do it in time before the enemy exploded. What a shame. Alright then, let's carry on. Another sector. There's another one up here in Nularepe. Nulareep? I don't know. Off we go. Let's fast forward through this one. We know the drill. It's all pretty standard. Just as soon as the crossbow actually charges, just takes forever. I need to work on that in my overhaul. Alright, we've got 1 fleet and 2 big ships. Let's go for the fleet again. I always like starting with those. You know, it's a warm-up. You gotta make sure your guns are still working after jumping through meta space or hyperspace or whatever particular kind of space this game has. We have a Swift Wing. fairly reasonable ship. It's got a bit of offensive ability, not much defensive. It's maneuverable as all hell, but it doesn't matter because we have 3 ships. So we'll be fine. Then we have Sarrow. This one's a pretty hefty one. It's going to cause us a bit of pain. Be a bit annoying to deal with. And then we have the Spartan. I always hate that one. And I've forgotten to put people in a formation, so the mace has appeared about 3 years before everyone else, so that's a problem. I'm going to order them into formation in case that somehow works. Also, I shouldn't be in fast forward anymore, really. Now, all I've done there is I've made things worse because now the mace is facing the wrong way. Turn around and fight, and then the others will be here fairly soon. You should be alright. Come on. Ooh, a couple of painful cannon hits there. Yeah, the Swiftwing. How I missed some guns on that thing? No, that's all it has. You're just going crazy with the cannons then, I guess. But yeah, we, ooh, bit of fire at the back. That's a little bit concerning. But we're facing the enemy now. We should be fine. However, everyone is going for him. Spear, go and deal with Sarrow. Crossbow, do the same. And then Swiftwing and Mace can duke it out over here without distraction. Okay, actually, Mace turn to Sarrow because he's more dangerous than everyone else. Target Swiftwing just to get him dealt with. Because I'm getting a bit concerned. And, yeah, that's him basically done. However, the Sarrow is capitalizing on my complete screw-up, as is the Spartan. I would not let a Spartan beat me. Not in any way. But yeah, we've lost the shield, but so far everything is holding. Let's go to slow-mo for this. I didn't think I'd need slow-mo for a fleet battle, but apparently I've screwed up that much. Right, Spear, can you, like, actually do damage, please? There we go. Why weren't you in range? That was silly. For some reason, he's picked a range that he can't fire at. I don't know, was that me messing up at some point? I have no idea. Oh, that was an explosion. Was that us or them? I think it was them. So far. Bit worried about our shield failures over here. I mean, we're better than the Sarrow, but we've had a bad start. Not working well for us. Spear, what are you doing? Just do anything, please. Just attack somebody. You're, like, not even moving. Crossbow... Take out Sarrow as well. Just everyone go for it. Fly at it, please. Quicker. I mean, I am at quarter speed, so perhaps I should expect that things are going super slow. Alright, I think we got it covered. Sarrow doesn't know what he's doing anymore. He's just spinning around like a crazy person. Spartan is trying to nobly sacrifice himself, apparently. There we go. Things are getting moving. Let's go back to normal speed. I think we're fine now. He's gone for the crossbow. Bold move. But it's not worked. No strategy ever would have worked, to be fair to him. And the Sarrow is annihilated. So yeah, getting one ship caught on its own, never good. We should really try and make sure that doesn't happen. So formation, please. Oh, swap places apparently. Yeah, sure, why not? Just don't screw it up. Please don't just get completely stuck. I think they are, aren't they? Oh, the mace might make it round the side of the crossbow. The crossbow's going to come out the front now. And then it's going to go around like that. It's just oh, no, he's staying there. He's trying to fly straight at it instead of just strafe to it. At this rate, the enemy's just going to turn up and attack us while we're still trying to get in formation. Here we are. We're on the move. He's leaving, though. Missed our opportunity. There we go. It's a biter again. Been seeing a lot of these recently. I reckon we'll be alright. We've been fine with these so far. He's going for the crossbow though, which is a bad thing. Oh, that was beautiful to see all that point. Oh crap. I was going to say all that point defense annihilating his missiles, but apparently some got through. Oh, this is why I need to upgrade the crossbow. I already knew this. Maybe I should have just done it at the start, but I wanted to stick to the normal format. Oh, it's explosions everywhere. Oh, I think he's gone this time. I think he might actually fully explode. Come on, guys. You're gonna need to pick up the slack. Our missiles are not available anymore. Do your best. Mace, what are you doing? No, stop, Mace. Don't get too far away. You have lots of close-range weapons. Please be in close range. Don't be dumb. Don't leave it all to the spear. The spear can handle it, but still don't leave it all to the spear. Crossbow he's still, to be fair to him, he's still trying. He's holding his position. He's trying to get, like, he's trying to pull back. He's firing his missiles, but also he's catastrophically on fire. And another reactor's going to go up in a minute. And it's all, I think it's just going to get worse. How many extinguishers do we have available right now? There's one there. And 2 there. This one's not even in use. Someone's going for it, though, at least. But that's a lot of fire to deal with. However, if it keeps away from the fight, it may be able to repair a little bit sooner than otherwise. Oh, there's a chunk of the crossbow hanging about there. The biter is holding up surprisingly well, but we've basically stripped off the outer layer of it, so all its weapons are gone. And it looks like we've reached that point again. We're now just going to start tearing it apart. Also, the crossbow is not giving up. He's still firing his missiles. He's going to have his revenge, damn it. He refuses to go down with a whimper. He's going to help finish this guy off. The missiles are still coming in. How's the fire doing? That reactor cannot be long for this world. Yeah, that's going. That is so going. There is a guy in there, but I don't know if he's going to be quick enough. Meanwhile, basically nothing left of this. There's just the reactors in the middle. Oh, yep, that's done. Now it's just a case of the crossbow not being ready to repair yet and being about to explode. Oh wait, no! Just before the explosion! We can repair it, nothing ever happened. No, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Everything is fine, there was no fire. There was never a fire. Don't know what you're talking about. We just refurbished. We just stripped out everything and rebuilt it again because we thought that it was looking a bit dirty. And it was just easier. Definitely no catastrophic fire. Nobody died. Everyone is fine. And the biter is dead. Oh dear, right. Repairs for everyone else. Oh, there's a chunk of the crossbow that we don't want. Please don't repair that into like a fully functional second crossbow. We perhaps don't want that. As we've seen, it needs some work before we start trying to duplicate it or anything. Everyone get enough formation. I don't really care what formation. Just fly together towards the enemy and don't be dumb. There you go. And yeah, everyone should have their proper distances this time. For some reason they were all wrong. It might have been me, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised if it was me doing something derpy a couple of episodes back. Maybe even earlier this episode, just not realizing. But they should now hopefully all be engaging at the correct distances. And it's a Sarrow on its own, so that's nice. This should be fine. Like, the mace basically dealt with one on his own, so I imagine that we'll be fine this time, unless he blows up the crossbow like everyone has this episode. He's going for it, he knows, he's heard. The news was sent forward that the crossbow is the weak point, and he was trying to batter it, but luckily the others managed to blow it up before that could happen. Just random missiles flying about the place. There we go. Okay. Let's fix the crossbow. I'm thinking complete rebuild. Perhaps I might just tear the thing down and build an entire new crossbow. Because I'm thinking that I want it completely different to how it currently is. You know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build a new ship and it's going to be called the Crossbow and then I'll probably blow this one up. Actually, no, that's more expensive. Oh no, but I can sell the components of that ship and then I can blow it up. I can blow up the last remaining bit if it works like that. I don't know how it works. Let's purchase... We could purchase another crossbow, but no, that completely defeats the entire point. We'll purchase a Model 0, and then we'll fly it away from everywhere so there's room to actually build it out a bit. And I'm just going to start afresh, because I've had a completely different idea for how to do it. It'll still be the crossbow, just everything will be rearranged. But it'll still be, I mean, it'll be the crossbow in terms of its function and its basic armament. Whereas, but everything's going to be moved to such an extent I might as well start again. So, let's just plonk a bunch of corridor down. Do like whenever you do that, you make a space invader for all of 2 seconds. Let's just do that. And then what I'm thinking is we have a block in the middle, but it's smaller than the one that we had before. So maybe only like 4 tiles wide, and then we just build the missile stuff right out from there. So the missile stuff is going to be more set into the hull than before. And also, as per everyone on the planet's suggestions, I am going to not have missile launchers on the front because there is very little need. My reasoning before was that when they're fired from the front, they will hit the front of the ship, whereas when they're fired from the side, they'll generally hit the back of the ship. But hitting the back of the ship is better, so I don't know why that was a good argument. It wasn't really. We'll just hit them in the back where they are weak, and that will work better. So I think for the moment I'll just fill this in with crew, and then we'll work out exactly what it's going to be later. And then we'll have a corridor that's too wide, and then we'll have a whole bunch of manufacturing and launching and all that standard stuff. So we might start with a similar style to what we had before, where we've got, I think it was like this, and then we had, in fact I can go look at the other one. Here it is. What did it have? Yeah, it had them like that, faced sideways, and then we had a bank of 3 launchers with 2 storage between them. I might stick with that, but I'm not sure yet. So it was like that, and then the launchers were like this. And that lets us put crew right there, which is a brilliant idea. Then this can be like some... Oh, hang on, I've done that all wrong. Move everything out by a square. I could have done copy and paste, but shush. So let me find this stuff again. I'm always terrible with clicking on different stuff to find things. Here we go. Crap. Put that back in. Get another missile factory. Plonk it there. So yeah, that's the basic design we had before, but I might yet change it. But it's a lot thinner. I might even thin it some more and just remove this section, but I think it's easier if I have something in the middle that I can work with. What I could do is make it so that the mirror line runs down. That's not worth it overall, because then there's nothing to do with the middle section properly. You can't get anything to line up. The thing is that I was being silly, I know, with how the sensors worked, because you can't make it work. So I was like, make it symmetrical, but making 2 of them is massively inefficient, and I need to not do that. So I'll just have the one, and I'll make it look a bit fiddly. I'll put a bunch of fire extinguishers down one side of it or whatever to make it a little bit neater. But yeah, I think what I might do is just double this up to start with. It's going to have a lot more missiles on the side, as well as having, partially because it's going to have less on the front and partially just for general expansion. I'm actually just going to copy everything, I think. Copy all of it and paste it here. Might have some space. Yeah, we'll have some space, and then we'll put corridor here. Now this makes this massively expensive. It's already nearly $500,000, and we've got the armament, which is the important bit, but we're missing a whole bunch of other stuff so far. But yeah, I think what I'll do... Oh, I know, I'll have reactors. That'll be a good idea. Maybe not right at the front, though, because that would be a less good idea. Perhaps also a shield generator here? Yeah, build that there. Then a power storage here, and we'll have this actual reactor a little bit further back just to be safe. And we'll actually repeat this design, I think, on the rest of it. And then shield generators here. A bit of a gap, but we only need sort of general protection. It should be fine. I could add more around here, to be fair. As it is, I'm going to add some armor. Just some solid blocks, I think. I could bulk this out a lot and make it quite tall, and it still shouldn't interfere with the missiles. So perhaps I should do that. We'll have a cross corridor here. That's probably a good idea. This obviously won't all be crew quarters. We have... actually, we have exactly how much we need right now, so maybe it will. But we maybe want some other stuff there. I'm not really sure. But yeah, that's the idea. This is the central section. This is the core. This is the death machine. This is what, people go in. Well, no, people are already in. Time goes in, missiles come out, I guess, is the idea for this. And it just functions itself. And then what we want to do is the front is going to be a massive defensive thing, like a huge bank of shields and armor and all that good stuff. And then the back is going to be a whole bunch of engines. That's the idea of it. It will perhaps look a bit more like a proper crossbow by the end, because the front may end up being quite wide to have proper protection. And then it might look a little bit like the bow section of the crossbow, but then this is already quite wide, really. If I removed this stuff and just had it focused on these, maybe. But we need all that crew for all the stuff that needs to be moved around. It is a shame that there's these inset sections. I wonder if I can do something about that. I mean, I could add more crew. I could put a bank of thinner, the smaller crew quarters in. And perhaps that's the best way. Or I could move these down, put some armor in here or something like that. I don't know whether there's any point in that, though. But currently it's wasted space, and I'm sure there are good things I could do with that space. And yeah, we do have sort of highly explosive sections to it, but yeah, it'll hopefully be okay. But if I shifted everything down by a square, then I could set some of this stuff into these, but it wouldn't... The main thing is it wouldn't look nice, which isn't a good reason, but it's a good enough reason for me that I'll not do anything about it quite yet. And I'm thinking corridor along here. Give people plenty of room to move around, get to where they need to go. Then shielding up the wazoo here is the idea. Perhaps some setback here as well. Maybe there. Let's just start with putting some at the front here. If we just have like a whole bunch of it here. A lot for the enemy to get through. And then we can just put a whole bunch of armor in front of this as well, so that even if the shields fail, the shots won't start doing serious damage. Just fill it up with armor, because the normal reason you can't do this is because you've got guns that need to fire at the front. We don't. We can just make a solid block of armor, and it will work perfectly. We could have extra shield. I mean, if we wanted to, we could make it really crazy and have a proper solid wall of shields, and perhaps that's the best way of doing it. Let's have a couple of reactors positioned here. And yeah, this doesn't need to be armor because it's next to the shields, so I think we could have that as crew quarters just to make sure that people can man these easily enough. What else can we have? Let's think about it. What options are there? Apart from more weaponry. There's fire extinguishers, need to find someone to put those. We will need point defense, nearly forgot about that, so we will need access to the front of the ship, unfortunately. We can't just make a mile wide, a mile thick block of armor. We'll need that. Reverse thrusters, we can sort them out at the back, that's fine. Yeah, I think we'll just do point defense and that'll be good enough. So we'll have, let's do, I've forgotten where they are. They're in defense, that's it. Of course, they are point defense. Put some there. That might be good enough coverage. We'll put another pair in the middle, actually. And then we'll have crew quarters here, because people need to get up to these anyway. Yeah, we'll just do it like that, perhaps. Maybe slightly overzealous with the crew, but then we're at the recommended amount. Just whether the crew are in the right locations on the ship. Let's have a little bit more armor on the front and make it a little bit neater as well. We're missing coverage on the side right now. We could do with some side-facing shields. Perhaps we should have some, like, out front. Something like this. Because down here doesn't really do anything. We already have a shield right there. But we can get to that anyway via the point defense. It's a bit of an awkward spot. Perhaps just more going out the side so that... Now, we would still need the side-facing shields, though. But perhaps we can wrangle that. What about here and here? It's a bit silly. But is it that silly if it works, I suppose? And then we just fill this in with armor. Crazy amounts of the stuff. Stop complaining because it's not connected yet, jeez. And then, yeah, plenty around the side. Perhaps I'm maybe going overkill at times, but I can. Oh, we've got to watch out for these missiles here. I nearly forgot about that. We do need to make sure that they can actually fire. Otherwise, that doesn't really work. So perhaps we should close this off a little bit. Do this here, and then do this here. Something like that. Looks a bit silly on the inside, but on the outside it means that the missiles are fine. And it's decent enough bit of protection. Move that to there. And yeah, plenty of coverage on the front. Looking a bit hammerhead-like. Perhaps we should make it more dense in the center, because that is where people are going to be trying to hit the most, of course. Yeah, let's do that. I'm all for going overkill with this one. more crew quarters. Just because I've already got them, so they're already going to have to go through a million doors. Might as well have crew quarters instead of corridor. And then we can at least have a bunch of extra armor on the front. If not also some more shields somewhere. We could just have another pair of them here. You know what, let's do it. More shields for the shield gods. More armor for the armor throne. We'll even make this a little bit wider, I think. Like that instead, perhaps? How's that looking? A little bit silly because there's a sudden slope here and then nowhere else, so I sort of want to make it a little bit more neat. Move all these out by a bit, maybe? I can't move them out too far because they do need to be behind the shield still. Yeah, let's leave these back here because otherwise it gets a bit weird. Might actually put some... Let's stick some fire extinguishers at the front there just in case they're needed. Some more here just because half this armor is not really necessary. Have this here and another block of armor there. And we can use these little bits here for a million fire extinguishers at the very least, which will sort out the catastrophic fire issues we were having. But yeah, I'm fairly happy with that. That is crazy amounts of shielding and should hopefully be enough to actually hold off against the enemy fire this time. Some things will get through shields, but then there are multiple layers in all of it. It's all multiple layers the whole way through, so things that breach some shields might then stop against others. It depends how it works. We'll have to see. Like, we'll have to test this by going into more epic sectors and seeing how it fares. I think it'll fare better than the Crossbow Mark 1, at the very least. And that's all that matters, really. Right, what else to do? We need to do the back. We need all the engines and all that gubbins. Lots of reverse engines as well as forward engines. Perhaps a huge section here and a bunch of internal ones, the same as we've been doing. That has worked well so far, so we do want to do that. We'd quite like to be able to do the side ones like this. How far can they go? They can go to... Yeah, it's there, isn't it? Corridor being an awkward place, though. Let's actually not have the engines here. We'll have another block down the center of some description. That'll be the bridge, the FTL drives, the sensors. Oh, we will need FTL drives near the front, won't we? So that it all works. We'll nestle them in amongst these somewhere. That'll be fine. Or actually, we need more crew. That's pretty crazy. Like, because I've been fairly liberally plonking crew all over the place so far. I thought we had enough, but not quite. Right, so thrusters. We want them like this. Some side-facing ones as well. Rear-facing ones. Side-facing there. We need more, though, I would say. I want more than 6. We can have them stick out the side. Hopefully no shots will be getting this far back with all the shielding in front. Maybe I should make this wider so that it actually will catch any shots that try and sneak around the side. Also, we will need some point defense along the side. I shouldn't forget that. There's even some here. I'm going to add that before I forget. A bit of point defense on the side here just to catch any that are trying to sneak by the side of us. Yeah, not quite happy with this. We'll get rid of the side-facing ones. We'll just have the forward and back. And then we'll have 10 of each. That'll be nice. Bit of armor over here just to make sure it's all safe. We'll have the usual block of armor out the side to make sure that a random stray shot can't go straight into the middle and hit whatever important stuff is inside here. Put that there. Oh, the missiles might struggle with that, actually. They might end up catching it, so we'll do it like that. Looks a bit silly. Perhaps like this instead? That's better. Then, similar thing along here. Run this all along the side. Build that in at the back. We need side-facing thrusters somewhere. We can still have them here, but I sort of wanted corridors here, and then... Yeah. We'll have the side-facing ones in a separate thing then, I guess, down here. Or perhaps just like this. Might be a bit silly. And we also should have some up at the front because of how turning works. Where do I fit that in? There? I suppose. Not the best. We need to be careful about it. I think we can get away with this at least. Solid block there. There's still a bit of open space for the missiles to go around. Hopefully they won't clip it. If they do, we can move it back a bit. There's a bit of leeway there. Hopefully be alright. They're all a bit far away from power, which might be a problem. We'll get to that though. We haven't even started on the door situation yet. That's going to be a nightmare, I'm sure. Always is. Yeah, how do we do this without it getting in the way of all of the things ever? I guess we'll just do this at the bottom here. It's going to look a bit dumb. Going to be vulnerable as well unless we do something about it. Should we move it in? No, we'll keep that armor there because otherwise that's vulnerable. I don't know. The engines are always a pain because you need so many of them in the late game and it's awkward to fit them in everywhere. Because there's so much ship in front of this, especially all the armor on the front. We need a lot of maneuverability and all that. These may not even be enough once we actually get into a fight. But I don't want to make it wide because then it'll... no, actually, that's fine because these should be set into the design to be safe. You know what? Yeah, we'll do that. We'll move everything out by a bit. And then we'll have some side-facing thrusters in the middle. Not many, admittedly. Also, what I think I'm going to do is move this whole section down a bit. So, cut and then paste it like that. And then, whoops, have I done that wrong? I have done that wrong. Let's do it again. Can I repaste it? Yeah, I can. There. And it overwrites everything, so that's fine. Well, nearly everything. Mess things up along this side. And then some corridor to connect it up so it stops flashing. Driving me nuts. So we have corridor running around here. Go over to here. Then we can have the thrusters facing in. We can't have them there because that doesn't work. Whoops. We've got to have them here. So it's not a huge number of them, but we shouldn't need them so much as other things. Bit of corridor connecting it all together. That's fine. Bit of room here to put some stuff in. It's actually an awkward thing that would be perfect for some sensors. And I am going to now break the thing that I said I was going to do before. I'm going to put them like that. You can't stop me. It's fine. It's redundancy or something. And then we'll have that at the back there. Bring this stuff out a bit. Armor all along the edge. Don't want this stuff getting blown up. It'll be a bit awkward. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but having the armor will probably save us money just in terms of blown up stuff later. Let's have the corridors back here. I'm in favor of having lots of open space for people to move around in. And it means there's more corridors for enemy shots to get through before they hit important things. Yeah, I don't like the look of it. I mean, it doesn't make sense that they're all internal, but it's really awkward to get reverse thrusters unless you do that. So, I mean, there is a way. Because what I could do is have one here, and I mean, it wouldn't be much, but it'd help. And that's actually doable. But it's silly, and people will have to go through a lot of doors to get the power to them. And I'd rather have, like, point defense and more shields and more armor and stuff there instead. Right, so what we'll do is we'll move these down so they're out of the way. Right by the back. I wonder if that'll affect the sensors, whether like that's the center of what we detect, or whether it just affects the whole ship and the ship is the center. No idea. We'll have to find out. Then we need a bridge. So that can be back here. Right at the back, miles away from everything. Maybe I should have it a bit further forward just to be safe. I don't know, it might be fine there. FTL drive, how to fix? Oh yeah, it's yes, this is a problem. How to fix? We need to have this right up at the front. Even getting down to like here is too far to work properly. Even with this, it's 33%. Best we can hope for is 46% if we put them in the middle. We're going to have two at either end for it to work. anywhere close to properly. How expensive is this? We're running out of budget. I did not think this would happen, but we are getting close to our limits in terms of money. That is insane. Yeah, I'm going to put them there. Maybe not great because the... well, there's a lot of crew quarters in front of those, actually, so that should be fine. Then the next reactors, so they'll actually work. Then, that currently has us at 35%. Can we get 100? No, we cannot. The best, it looks like the best we can get is 96. Let's see, what's the absolute best positioning we can have? It's 96. We can't get better than that. There's bits on the edges that are just not right. It might be these bits that are causing it to be 98, but I'm not moving those any further forward than they are. They're fine as they are, I think. So yeah, these... is here good? That is 94. This is 96. And it's still 96 there, so we'll have them there. And then we'll have reactors at the front, in front of them. We need a lot more power. Oh, we need a lot more crew. Oh no, how do I sort that out? There is a way. It's not a good way, but it's a way. And then we'll have reactors perhaps here. And then also some more around the place. I'm tempted to put them here, but it's dangerous. Most definitely. I don't know if we should have some shielding on the back, really. It would make sense. Also, this shielding is not very useful now. Half of it is inside the ship. Maybe we should move it to there. It's still doable. And it would get rid of the gaps we have at the moment. I don't know what to do with these. Do we have enough at the front? We probably don't. With all the reactors we have. That's a lot of reactors. What I'm going to do is move this stuff up by a little bit. Delete that and then put back in the individual square because I messed that up. Move this up and then we can have another reactor next to it and that works fine. Might do that for everywhere else as well because why not? Connects up to the rooms the same way. Makes no difference. Whoops, that went weird. Move it to there. Again, with the armor not being right, can I... yeah, and then I can delete that. Move this up, move this up. And I guess we'll have some more reactors here. Probably not the best place, honestly. And now we're fine for reactors, apparently. Apparently I went a bit overkill there. I didn't realize how, like, that was enough, but sure. So maybe these are fine now. What else? We're sorted for FTL. We've got the sensors. We're now fine for power. We're not fine for crew yet, so we need a bit more of that. So that's the one thing. Crew, we need more point defense. Need to sort out fire extinguishers. Need to sort out doors. This is getting to be a very big job. I didn't realize how much work this would be. I mean, I should have expected. It was going to be... I knew how massive the ship was going to be. I knew it was building it from scratch, so I don't know why I'm surprised that it's now the longest episode I've ever done of this. So, let's... just so we don't have to tackle it all in one go, I'm doing a bit of the door stuff now, so it doesn't drive me quite so insane when I'm doing it all at the end. Neating all that up, we only need doors accessible from the corridors. That's fine. Point defense. Let's do that. So, have a couple on the outside here. Perhaps we can get away with skipping that, actually, because what we could do is have them... if I can remember where they are, we can have some here, pointing in. Flip it around. Some here, pointing in. They'll catch anything that's trying to come this way, I should hope. I was going to say imagine, but I downgraded it to hope. That piece of armor is now completely pointless, really. We've removed all the armor here. We've replaced it entirely with random gubbins that we'd like to have. There's now nowhere to put this fire extinguisher, but I would still quite like to have one. Oh, there's one over there, actually. Ah, that's not too bad, then. We already have one up here. There's still the crew thing, so let's tackle that next, shall we? Actually, let's make sure we're done with point defense. We want some on the back somewhere here, just to be safe. A couple at the end of this corridor here, that'd be good. And then a couple on the back. just in case. I keep putting them in pairs. There's no real reason, but I feel like it helps somehow, magically. Like one, I guess my imagining is that one isn't really enough to deal with a whole bunch of missiles. When you have two of them at once, they're enough to deal with most threats apart from really major ones. Right, the crew thing. I've got an idea. So at the moment, oh, look, there's the original ship there. That's now just crew quarters, basically. Crazy. Yeah, what I'm thinking is move this back. And then stick one there. We could have two. But I'm thinking one and then fire extinguishers, because I am a fan of those. Especially after what's happened to the Crossbow Mark 1 so many times recently. That's helped a bit, but it's really made not much of a dent at all, overall. Let's have some more there. And then let's fill this all in. There's not much to fill in, honestly. We can have some here. We can have some here. Gets us close to the recommended amount. Whether they're in the right place is another question. I don't know if they really are. Where else to go? There, I guess, because we've already got this cross corridor here. Gets us close. How many is it per quarter? It's 6, isn't it? So we're doing 12 at a time. I was just seeing if we'd get a nice round number if I added on one more pair, but it would be 2 pairs. And then we would have 290 crew. Not a particularly interesting number. I was hoping we can get something like 300 or whatever. I think we're fine with that. I think that'll be enough. We'll have to see how it goes, because of course this is untested, so we have no idea exactly how things are going to go at the end of the day. And I'm going to put 1,000,000 fire extinguishers in here, because I don't want it going up in flames quite so often as its predecessor has. Where should we put these? We'll have some at the back here. Have some in amongst the engines here, so that they're ready to respond to any fires in the outer sections. We could do with one here. We can have banks of the things. As we've seen, people have been using all the fire extinguishers available to them at times, so perhaps having like more than pairs is a good idea. We're here to put them, not really. There's some there and some there, but I don't know if that's enough. This is going to be having most of the fires, I imagine. But there's nowhere good to put them that doesn't start blocking corridors a bit. I think that's fine, because there's like a whole bunch of them nestled in amongst this stuff, and that should hopefully be enough. So maybe some more at the back somewhere. I think that's covered as well, really. I think we have enough. Let's have 2 more there, and then people can easily, quickly get up there. Now, conveyor belts are what I'm thinking next. So we also need to work out doors at the same time, because that makes sense. So let's standardize this system here. So at the moment, let's have a door there, and we'll have a door here. So in the side of each one, in the middle. Then we'll remove any doors we don't want. It's awkward because you can't, like, sometimes you want to move doors and sometimes you want to build doors, and you can't really, switching between the two is always a bit awkward. What I'm thinking then is doors here. And we'll, I was trying to make this mirror across to that, but that's not where the mirror line is, Bentham. Don't be dumb. Gotta make sure there's some doors here, because that's vitally important. Into the manufacturing facilities. We want to have a door there and a door connecting. One there. Is that standard? We've not done this one down here. I should have done a copy-paste thing, really, but I've already built these now, so... This is all fine, I think, just having them all connect up along here. Yeah, they're connected up like that perfectly the whole way, because it's the only way they can be connected. I never like, for the purposes of symmetry, I'm adding an extra doors there. There is no good reason apart from symmetry, which is a good reason in my book, so that's fine. I'm fine with it being like this here, because it's not, doesn't count the same way. I'll have some doors at the bottom of these so that people from down here can access them if for some reason they need to. Then the doors in the sides of these. I like having these central ones running all the way through the thing. But then we want a whole bunch in the side. So let's do this. And then just have them in pairs running down all the way. These are a pair. Then this one's slightly messed up. Can I select this door? It doesn't let... That's the thing, you gotta switch. You gotta switch all the time from one to the other. It's a pain. I wish while in, like, build door mode, I could select a door that... Like, if I just clicked on a door that already existed, it would remove it, as well as building, like, doors where there aren't doors. Makes sense to me. Okay, they're all nice and neat. That's good. We'll do the same, continuing down here. Because it's neat. Let's actually have these here. No, that's a silly thing. Let's focus on accessibility. We shouldn't mess around trying to make the doors line up nicely. We want them to line up with where the fire will be. So we'll have it like that. We'll add a couple in here so people can more easily get to the sensor rooms, should they need to. This is all done. I don't know why I'm looking at this side now. It's a mirror thing. I only need to fix one side and both sides will be fixed. This looks good. I already did most of this, so it's already working properly. That needs to move. And also, these are going to move down. And then we'll have the pairs of doors up here. Then we'll do the walkways. So, moving walkway, we'll have out going this way. Outbound. Actually, I haven't done the doors properly up here, considering what I'm going to be using them for. This. Yeah, we don't really want to move that like that, actually. So do this instead, and then this. Then this. Then we can line them up a little bit more neatly. Build them like that. Then going back down like this. They're not going to be symmetrical, doesn't matter. Then this. They can be in pairs all the way down, sort of. Kind of, not really, but a bit. And then going back up. These will be very neat. Apart from it messes up here and I've gone and done that. Continue these up to the top. Then in the middle, I never like the middle because you can't have them, you can't have a two-way system without it not being symmetrical anymore. So I'm just going to leave that because I can't deal with it. That'll be fine. They can walk that far. Then, what else can we do with the walkways? Do we want them there? We don't really. People are going to be walking across this corridor, I imagine, to a certain degree, so we'll keep that open. Then we can have some more down here. I haven't lined these up quite for that yet. There, and then that's all fine. Walkway, down, down, and then it messes up here, so we'll just do these and that's good. Then we'll have some going out this way. And these can go miles, really. Right up to there, and then back again. I haven't done this properly. Line these up like this, I suppose. Yeah, it works well enough. So this can move. And then these this way. I'll have a similar thing over here. For the sake of making it look nice, we'll have it match up with that. And then we will once again have corridors running out this way. Up to here. They can go around to here. Not that I think anyone will need to do that, because they'll probably just come from up there, because the reactors are closer to that way than that way. But good to have them around, I suppose. And then we'll leave a gap here so that people can probably get into and out of those. And then they'll rocket back here super fast and get where they're going. Alright, I think we're done. I think we are finally there. The ship may be terrible, but I think it'll work better than the previous one. It's got more defense at the front, it's got more weaponry, it's got more maneuverability, I think. Just about. It's got as much forward thrust as rearward thrust, so that will hopefully help with staying out of range of enemy ships a bit more. Hopefully the corridors are enough to keep people moving super fast, and hopefully everything's arranged properly so that everything's nice and efficient. So now we will spend literally all of our money apart from a tiny little bit to build this thing. And there it is. and it's going to take people forever to get this thing running, but it is a monster now, and I really hope that it actually does a good job, because otherwise it's going to be a bit embarrassing that this thing is a dud. But it should work. I mean, at the very least it's going to fire 1,000,000 missiles in every combat it gets into. Whether it then starts blowing up a bit is another thing entirely. Yeah, there we go. Everyone's using all the walkways to go super fast. Still some issues a little bit for a moment with people, like, bumping into each other. Just trying to get across the pathways. You know, look, so many people running through here, moving things from A to B. Like, they're all returning to their bunks now. Everything is ready. The missiles are in place. The shields are operational. The engines are fueled. And the Crossbow Mark II is ready to go. I didn't put any shields on the back. It'll probably be fine. I'm sure it'll be okay. We're just going to leave it. We're done. Crossbow 1, I'm sorry. But what we're going to have to... I guess... How do we do this? I guess we just... delete everything. It's actually really awkward to delete everything. I could self-destruct, but it would cost so much money. I'm sorry. I'd like to show you the self-destruct, but I need the funds. I don't like having no money, especially when I'm testing an experimental ship that could easily blow up because I've forgotten something and need replacing with massive amounts of money. So we will have to scrap this thing. I don't know, maybe I'll, like, load it into a sandbox save later and blow it up to make you feel better. I can't make it so because I'm not allowed to, because it's not a valid blueprint, so I'm going to build this, and now I can do it. There we go. Vessel self-destruct. There we go. There's a bit left! Oh no, it's gone. There we go. Brilliant. And then, look at it. It's massive compared to the other two. That is crazy. And it is worth over 1,000,000. It is worth the cost of these two combined, pretty much. That is awesome. And we'll see how it fares in the coming fights in the Epic Sectors next episode, and we'll see if we're getting towards the point where we can jump to the Vanguard sectors. I think that maybe, like, barring any issues with, like, fixing this up because of certain issues that I've discovered, and, like, maybe adding shielding on the back, this might be ready for Vanguard. Now it's just a case of doing that to these, to have them ready for Vanguard as well. But we'll have to see how we fare. So we'll test that out next episode. For now, we're at double the standard length of an episode. This is supposed to be half an hour long, and I've done a very bad job of keeping to that time limit so far. I'm ending up at 40 minutes and 45, but this time I've gone completely to a whole hour, twice the length, but whatever, we're done now. Next episode, more Epic Sectors. I imagine everything we face will die to missiles instantly. But with that, I shall say goodbye. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time.